in the Cruiserweight division, VanderMeer versus Sawyer Depee.
VanderMeer with the 4-inch height advantage, but inside 6-inch reach advantage he wants to utilize because he knows Depee's heavy-handed. Has to get inside to land those shots, though.
This is fight number 7 in BKFC for Sawyer Depee. He wrestled at the NAIA level at the University of Montana Western. In his previous 6 bare knuckle fighting championship bouts, Depee has never gone past 2 rounds. Chris, your keys to victory for Sawyer Depee are presented by Bucked Up Energy Drink.
Sawyer Depee, he's got to use that head movement to get inside. Can't be with that head in a center target. He wants to slow the pace and make this fight go into the later rounds. And when he gets in, he wants to punish his opponent with those power shots he possesses.
Sawyer Depee told us in our fighter meeting, I believe my opponent, VanderMeer, will become, quote, timid once I start landing hard power punches.
But he doesn't want to depend on brawling. Doesn't want to go out there and just trade punches. He wants to utilize his angles, get inside, land hard, powerful shots.
VanderMeer. This is fight number 4 in BKFC. He's had 1 pro boxing bout. Chris, your keys to victory for VanderMeer are presented by Bucked Up Energy Drink.
He's got to utilize that jab so he can stay long. And he cannot back straight up. Doesn't want to get up against ropes. And he's got to land that big right hand. He's got power in it. When he lands it, he knocks people out.
VanderMeer told us, I'm going to use my footwork to be, quote, deceptive. I'm going to utilize and showcase my lateral movement. I'm going to keep changing levels. I'm going to use feints to open up Sawyer Depee.
Wants to land that right cross, but at the same time, utilize that jab to keep that range. Feels like his key. He's got to keep moving the entire fight. If he can move, he can't be a stationary target. He's going to be hard to beat.
VanderMeer said, I definitely respect the punching power of my opponent, Sawyer Depee. I have to be aware of his lead right hook. I know that he has huge power on the inside. That's why I have to use my footwork, use my range to keep this fight at distance.
Feels like his opponent's going to try and clinch up with him. And when he does, he doesn't want to fight in that clinch game. He wants to fight his way out and strike the entire time. Feels like his opponent's focusing on that clinch way too much. As soon as he shuts that down, that's going to really frustrate his opponent.
To get our main event of the evening started, we send it to the always outstanding Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now set for the scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the Cruiserweight division. Presented to you by Bucked Up Energy Drink. Get bucked up. Sanctioned by the Colorado State Boxing Commission. Chairman Ryan Frazier. Executive Director Tony Cummings. The 3 judges scoring our main event: Oscar Martinez, Dean Abeta, Carmen Beal. And the 3rd person inside the squared circle, our referee in charge of the action at the bell, Andrew Glenn. And now, with our bare knuckle fans watching live worldwide on the BKFC app and Fubo Sports, from the National Western Center, fight fans of Denver, they are ready to toe the line and knuckle out. Introducing you first, fighting out of the red corner, tonight he wears black. He stands at even 6 feet tall. His official weight, 203.8 pounds. His BKFC record stands at 4 victories opposite 2 defeats. Fighting out of Lolo, Montana, here is Sawyer Depee. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out the blue corner. Tonight he wears purple and black trimmed in gold. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall. His official weight, 201.8 pounds. His BKFC record stands at 2 victories opposite a single defeat. Fighting out of Denver, Colorado, here is Keegan, the career killer, VanderMeer.
Sawyer Depee told us, I believe my opponent Keegan VanderMeer will try to stay long, but I don't think he knows how to properly use his reach. I will walk through that way. Round number 1. Purple and gold trunks for Keegan VanderMeer, black trunks for Sawyer Depee. Immediately on the outside goes Keegan VanderMeer. The jab. Depee looking for the entry. The duck under, swing and a miss from VanderMeer. There's the entry, hard left hand, and that drops Keegan VanderMeer.
It's a straight left hand. Didn't look like it did much damage. It just knocked VanderMeer off balance. That's got to be a confidence boost for Sawyer Depee. The one punch you've thrown, you've knocked your opponent down.
VanderMeer from the center circle, off the jab. Depee on the feint. Step again from Sawyer Depee. Swing and a miss. Left hand again comes Depee. Knockdown number 2.
There's that power that Depee possesses. Every time he's touching his opponent, he's putting him down.
60 seconds remaining, round number 1 of our main event. We're at 205 pounds. Depee feinting on the level change. Again, the left hand, right hand. To the inside comes Depee. Counter left hand to the right hand. Back swing to the body from VanderMeer. On the turn, right hand from VanderMeer.
VanderMeer trying to land that right hand.
Depee forward on the heavy front shoulder. Pin down movement for Sawyer Depee. Another big left hand, right hand. We might be done.
That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote, Sean.
Sawyer Depee.
You can see the way VanderMeer shot up. He was not there at all. The referee saw his eyes, said, that's all. I'm not letting this go any farther. And we talk about that all the time, Sean. The referees watch the way they fall. They see their reaction. As soon as he saw the look in VanderMeer's eyes, he waved it off. No need to count.
5 wins, 5 finishes for Sawyer Depee.
Sean, this is exactly why we love the Prospect Series. I mean, once again, these fights, none of them went the distance. People come to fight. These two guys came to fight. I didn't think this was going to go very far. These guys are both heavy-handed. Someone's going to get knocked out. Depee just looking so relaxed, so poised. He hasn't lost in a few years. There's a reason why. He's really understanding this sport.
See the medical staff from the Colorado Athletic Commission, and also Dr. Matthew Bohm working for BKFC tonight from the great state of Kansas, attending to Keegan VanderMeer. This is the BKFC Prospect Series here in Denver, Colorado, but Sawyer Depee now 5 victories, all by way of finish, all inside of 2 rounds. Has gone from prospect to the mid-card to the main event to, I believe, a legitimate title contender in bare knuckle fighting championship.
Just getting better and better, and we talked about one of his losses he took on about 8 days notice and still come in and almost won that fight as a huge underdog. This guy comes to fight anybody. He's getting better. He's training all the time in bare knuckle, and he's a problem for a lot of people. Heavy-handed, you can just see that.
3 knockdowns to the knockout for Sawyer Depee in round number 1.
A little bit of the handiwork, staying relaxed. Power in both hands. He was using that straight left, set it up, little right hook, right on the button. And I thought Keegan VanderMeer was going to fall in our lap, Sean.
VanderMeer fell on that 3rd and final knockdown directly in front of our commentary position. Cool as you like on the finish for Sawyer Depee, who keeps on rolling in bare knuckle fighting championship.
Sean, I talk to these fighters before all this, I said, do not leave it to the judges. Somebody's going to be upset. We get it every time there's a decision. People said, I won that. No, you didn't. You lost. Never let three people who might have never been in a fist fight in their life decide your fate. They listened to me tonight. I'm so happy. They came out there. They put it on the line. Great fights.
10 fights, 10 finishes. We saw just one round number 4.
Sean, I might talk to Dave Feldman and see if we could just put all prospect fights on from now on, because they've been fantastic. This year has been amazing. I hope we keep putting them on. I know we're going to every month, but man, maybe twice a month. I don't know. This has been great.
20 fighters on this card, all 20 fighters going all out. The winners and the fighters who were defeated, but everyone opening up their game.
Sean, there's nobody I would not like to see fight again. That's the thing, they come to a fight. If you come to fight, you might win some, you might lose some, but you're gonna put on a great show. If you come out here and you don't come out to fight, yeah, then you might not be invited back. I can see every one of these guys fighting again.
There was no timidity from the defeated fighters on this card. They opened up, and we saw these fighters who claimed victory, all 10, clearly listening to your pre-fight speech, telling everyone, go all out, don't leave it to the judges. We have the fantastic real-time open scoring as used tonight by the Colorado Athletic Commission. It just simply did not come into play. Certainly not going deep. Again, just one fight going beyond 3 rounds. And that was the fight before our main event, Josh Huber. The 4th round TKO win versus Andrew Yates. The Prospect Series continues to roll in BKFC. And indeed, in our main event, Sawyer Depee showing why he continues to roll. It's the poise, it's the intelligence of range, and it is that crushing power at 205 pounds. Full credit to Keegan VanderMeer. He came in at 2-1. He is a massive puncher as well, but Sawyer Depee took immediate control of this fight, dropping VanderMeer 3 times to the finish in the 1st round. Here's Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Andrew Glenn, steps in and calls a stop to this fight at 1 minute 33 seconds into round number 1. For your winner by KO, Sawyer Depee.
All right, Sawyer Depee, man. Going up against an undefeated fighter here in Keegan VanderMeer. And what a performance. I mean, 1, 2, 3 knockouts. You put him away, and you just continue to pick up W's in here. You haven't lost in a few years. I got to wonder, what is next for you, man? I mean, what are you looking at? Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Talk about it.
I want to go for the belt. That's what we're here for. Everybody's chasing that. I don't know who has it, but I want it.
Don't care who has it. You just want it. This fight, I mean, you got a big, tall guy here in Keegan VanderMeer. You knew he had a lot of power. You're coming into his backyard. Talk about how you approached it and talk about how it went down.
I approached this one a little bit different. He's big, he's long, but I wanted to fight him at his length, not what I'm used to. And then it ended up the way it did. Went my way. It was great. I loved it.
And we can't wait to see you back in here. One more time, let's hear it, Denver, for Sawyer Depee.
Just keeps getting better, looks so relaxed, so poised out there. He is going to be a problem for anybody in that weight class, Sean.
Sawyer Depee controlled the range, got inside of the reach advantage of Keegan VanderMeer to produce 3 knockdowns to the 1st round KO. In our main event of the evening, the winner by way of knockout in round number 1, Sawyer Depee defeats Keegan VanderMeer.
Welcome to the new BKFC app. Get monthly BKFC events for $7.99.
This is the best show in combat sports.
Enjoy our all-new library of content, including behind-the-scenes access, exclusive BKFC original series, and additional live bare-knuckle fights from around the globe. Knuckle up with the new BKFC app, only $7.99 per month. Friday, October 25th, the world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, makes history yet again when two heavy-handed titans collide. It's Chris Camozzi versus Sawyer Depee in an all-out war for the vacant Cruiserweight Championship of the world. In the co-main event, Brandon Girtz knuckles up with Cameron VanCamp, plus 10 other vicious bare knuckle fights. No gloves, pure adrenaline. Watch history unfold live. Download the BKFC app now at bkfc.com.
Chris Camozzi versus Bubba McDaniel.
Very similar in most aspects. Right here you can see a 3-inch reach advantage for Chris Camozzi. He's going to want to use that, stay on the outside, make Bubba McDaniel come inside, and every time he does, make him pay, Sean.
Chris Camozzi and Bubba McDaniel have combined for 82 pro MMA bouts.
Not only 82 bouts, Sean, but look at this. The who's who of these weight classes right here. Just nothing but some of the top-ranked guys in all of MMA, of all combative sports right here. These guys have fought them, so you can tell when these guys get in here, they're going to be ready for the high-level competition.
This is the BKFC debut for Bubba McDaniel. 30 wins in his pro MMA career. He's fought 3 times in the UFC, 4 times in Bellator. Was on season 17 of The Ultimate Fighter. In our fighter meeting, Bubba McDaniel said, "I believe that this sport of bare knuckle is about precision over power."
Feels like he focused on speed, conditioning, wants in and out motion. Surprisingly to me, he said he wants to stay away from the clinch. He can avoid it if possible, but if in there, he wants to throw hard punches.
Bubba McDaniel said of his opponent, Chris Camozzi, in this cruiserweight bout, "I feel that he's a far better kickboxer than he is a boxer." McDaniel said, "I just don't know if Camozzi can be effective only throwing punches."
Feels like he really wants to focus on his footwork, his jab, his head movement to get inside. He feels like his key, his main thing he was worried about was not getting into his own head. He feels like if he just lets himself fight, he's going to do great. He doesn't want to overthink things.
McDaniel said, "I'm expecting a slow, measured start from Chris Camozzi. I have to be explosive early. I have to catch the tempo of this fight and then control it." This is the BKFC debut for Chris Camozzi. 27 wins in his pro MMA career. A veteran of 19 fights in the UFC, 3 in PFL. He was on season 11 of The Ultimate Fighter. He also had 6 kickboxing bouts in glory. Camozzi said in this his bare knuckle debut, he's put a big focus on combining his power, his speed with very smart movement.
Head movement, footwork. Really focus on those. He said he wants to stay low. Both these guys are taught, wants to stay low when he gets in, get underneath his opponent's punches.
As Bubba McDaniel told us in our fighter meeting, he expected a fast start from Chris Camozzi. Camozzi said, "I've been working on having a very fast start. I want to explode off of the scratch line. I feel that Bubba McDaniel will slow down and even hesitate once I hit him hard."
Definitely wants to make him pay every time his opponent comes forward, but the main thing he feels like he just has to keep touching his opponent, and that's going to lead to the victory.
Once again, Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the First Bank Center, we are now set for your feature fight of the night. Scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the Cruiserweight division. Presented to you by Crescent Tools. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight he wears white and red. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall. His official weight, 203.2 pounds. He holds a combined combat sports record of 48 fights, and tonight makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Wichita Falls, Texas. Here is the longtime combat sports veteran, Bubba the Menace McDaniel. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight, he wears black and gold. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall. His official weight, 203 1/2 pounds. He is a true MMA veteran of 42 fights, and tonight makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Denver, Colorado, here is Chris Camozzi. And our referee in charge of the action, Big Dan Murgliata.
Chris Camozzi, who is naturally right-handed, prefers the southpaw stance, told us he will be throwing big overhands with both hands. Round number 1. Black and gold trunks for Chris Camozzi, white and red trunks for Bubba McDaniel. Nice jab on the inside from the southpaw stance for Camozzi. To the inside, big swings. Camozzi stepping in on the counter. To the head chancery for McDaniel that draws the break from Dan Murgliata. Double jab for Camozzi. 3 on the left hand. Good turnout, counter left, the counter right back, and flat on his back goes Bubba McDaniel.
Hard punches being thrown by both guys, but man, Bubba McDaniel is hurt. I don't know if they can let things go. Nope. That's all she wrote.
Dan Murgliata breaks off his count. And welcome to BKFC, Chris Camozzi.
Both guys throwing bombs there, Sean. It just took whichever one landed first. Camozzi landed a great shot, but McDaniels is still hurt. I like to see that again from a different angle right here. Oh, just a short little right hand. It's a quick one. It doesn't take much with bare knuckles, Sean. You just hit it the right spot. Sometimes it's not the power, it's the placement. That placement was perfect right there.
Camozzi countered the Bubba McDaniel counter with what Muhammad Ali referred to as the anchor punch. A short, sharp turnover right hand.
Like I said, all it takes is not necessarily the power, but the placement right there. You hit him in the right spot, and that's exactly what happened there.
It's just different, man. It's different without the gloves.
Woo! Lorenzo Hunt, the newly crowned BKFC 205-pound champion, in attendance. No doubt watching that fight with very keen interest. We go to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Big Dan Murgliata, reaches the count of 10 at 37 seconds into round number 1. For your winner by KO, Chris Camozzi.
And Sean, I think we found somebody, Chris Camozzi. This could be the sport for him. I really look forward to seeing what we do with him next and how we progress this guy, because he could definitely be the champion one day.
Chris Camozzi has had high-level success in pro MMA, pro kickboxing, and finds success in his BKFC debut against the very talented and accomplished Bubba McDaniel. They don't have to be big punches, they just have to be accurate. The winner by way of first-round KO, Chris Camozzi defeats Bubba McDaniel.
Welcome to the new BKFC app. Get monthly BKFC events for $7.99.
This is the best show in combat sports.
Enjoy our all-new library of content, including behind-the-scenes access, exclusive BKFC original series, and additional live bare-knuckle fights from around the globe. Knuckle up with the new BKFC app, only $7.99 per month. Friday, October 25th, the world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, makes history yet again when 2 heavy-handed titans collide. It's Chris Camozzi versus Sawyer Depee in an all-out war for the vacant Cruiserweight Championship of the world. In the co-main event, Brandon Girtz knuckles up with Cameron VanCamp, plus 10 other vicious bare knuckle fights. No gloves, pure adrenaline. Watch history unfold live. Download the BKFC app now at bkfc.com.
Chris Camozzi versus Dan Spohn.
And Sean, look at these two guys, both huge individuals, 6'3", 6'4", huge reach. 80 or 78, 77. These guys are huge. These guys are both very well matched up. This is going to be a great fight. It really doesn't have anything to do with this tail to tape. Whoever's going to came out here, have the better game plan, probably going to win, Sean.
Thank you so much. This is
This is the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship debut for Dan Spohn. He's a veteran of 28 pro MMA bouts, including one in the UFC, plus one on Dana White's Contender Series. Spohn was on season 19 of The Ultimate Fighter and fought 4 times in Bellator. In our fighter meeting, Spohn said, I want to establish my jab from the outside quickly, hold range, land 3-2 combos from range.
Absolutely, he understands how good Chris Camozzi is as his opponent. The main thing for him, he's got to disrupt his rhythm. He cannot let Camozzi dictate the pace where and when the fight happens. He feels like that's his job. If he decides when the fight happens, where it happens, he's going to be victorious.
Dan Spohn and Chris Camozzi are legitimate friends. They talked about this fight, but of course this is all business. Chris, you had to fight your friends in the UFC. There's no animosity, and both fighters have a realistic assessment of each other. Spohn said of Camozzi, I respect his toughness, his high-level aggression. I have to keep moving from range. Chris Camozzi made his BKFC debut last October. He defeated Bubba McDaniel by first-round KO.
Just a phenomenal striker, and look, understands one thing. Doesn't matter how hard you hit, it matters where you hit sometimes. Just look at this, a nice short little right hand, perfectly top placed, right on the button right there. That's all it takes. He learned that right away. Look at that short little punch right there. Understands that, learned it, knows that's all he has to do is touch his opponent. He feels like he has power in both hands, enough to knock anybody out.
Chris Camozzi enters 1-0 in BKFC. 27 victories for Camozzi in his pro MMA career. He fought 19 times in the UFC, 3 in PFL. He was on season 11 of The Ultimate Fighter, and Camozzi fought 6 times in Glory Kickboxing. In our fighter meeting, Camozzi said, what I love most about BKFC is I can really sit down on my punches and not worry about being taken down.
Feels like this time he's extremely calm for this fight. Understands he cannot sit back though, and he wants to get off to a fast start. Understands how important that is in this sport.
Of his friend and opponent in his cruiserweight bout, Dan Spohn, Chris Camozzi said, I really respect his boxing. He has legitimate punching power. I'm going to have a fast start because I feel that Spohn is a very analytical fighter. He's going to try to sit back, assess, and game plan. That's where I have to take advantage.
Respects his opponents. Nice boxing, however, he wants to use short, tight punches because he understands he doesn't need to land with full power. All he has to do is land in the right spot. Those short, tight punches, if he lands them clean, he's going to hurt his opponent.
Chris Camozzi also said, I know Dan Spohn will look to counter. I have to take advantage in those gaps when he does. Back to the ring, and Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for the next fight of the night. Scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the Cruiserweight division. Presented to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Introducing to you first. Fighting out of the red corner, tonight he wears black and blue. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall. His official weight, 203.2 pounds. He is a true MMA veteran of 28 fights, and tonight makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Columbus, Ohio, here is Dan the Dragon Spohn. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears white and orange. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall. His official weight, 204.8 pounds. He himself is an MMA veteran of 42 fights and stands undefeated in the squared circle at 1-0. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the fighting pride of Denver, Colorado, Chris Camozzi. And our referee in charge of the action, Andrew Glenn.
Dan Spohn said, I have to keep slipping and blocking the big punches of Chris Camozzi, which I know are coming. Round number 1. White trunks for Chris Camozzi, black trunks for Dan Spohn. There's a clean left hand from Spohn to the inside. Into the clinch, the active clinch. Good refereeing from Andrew Glenn, allowing the sequence to continue on the overhook. These are two high-level pro MMA fighters, and you see the MMA pedigree from both on the inside, the dirty boxing. Overhand right on the entry from Camozzi. Overhook snatched by Dan Spohn. Spohn cut over his left brow. Spohn just acknowledged that cut. Step in again from Camozzi. There's the left hand. Short on the uppercut, overhand right. Short, sharp left hands from Camozzi. And down goes Dan Spohn.
Once again, not very devastating punches in the right place. Good job by Camozzi right there.
Taking the mandatory 8 count from Andrew Glenn is Dan Spohn. You see the cut outside of Spohn's left brow. Camozzi not being reckless, being measured. Stepping, good left hand from Spohn.
You know Spohn is still very dangerous right now. Camozzi taking it very slow, very smart.
Spohn on the overhook. Quick separation from Andrew Glenn. 50 seconds remaining, round number 1. Entry left hand and the right hand from Camozzi. Spohn trying to turn up at the ropes. Overhand right, knockdown number 2.
And I love the way right now Camozzi's using good head position on the inside, dictating where and when the fight is happening right there, pushing his opponent's head around.
No 3 knockdown rule in BKFC, but referee Andrew Glenn taking a really close look. As forward again with power comes Chris Camozzi. Short, powerful strike, short left hand from the half-tie plug. More big left hands. Spohn in all sorts of trouble. Glenn taking a really close look, knockdown number 3.
And it's in that inside, that tie plug, that inside where Camozzi's dominating this fight.
7, 8, 9, 10.
The count of 10 reached, and just like that, Chris Camozzi 2-0 in BKFC.
Hasn't made it out of the first round yet, Sean. He's looked phenomenal out there. First time he just showed a little bit of placement, knows where to strike. This time he showed good inside work, put his head in the right place, pushed his opponent head where he wanted, and landed clean strikes. Camozzi already talked about wanting to push for the title after this. 2-0, 2 first-round knockouts. It's going to be hard to deny him of this. There's that. That's what started the cut right there. Got on the inside. Look at his head position right now. Good job on the inside by putting his head exactly where he wants it to be, controlling where his opponent. It is just little shots in there. Little shots, but effective shots. Here's the last knockdown right there. Like just holding his opponent's head, putting it where he wants, landing clean shots in there. Man, I'm really impressed with his adaptation and understanding bare knuckle so quickly. Only 2 fights, but he looks like he's a veteran already.
Chris Camozzi, an extremely nice person, and he was relentless against his friend Dan Spohn. Dan Spohn is a really talented and accomplished pro MMA fighter, but in Spohn's BKFC debut, he simply had no answers for that relentless inside pressure and those short, hard punches of Chris Camozzi. Here is Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Andy Glenn, steps in and calls a stop to the fight after reaching the count of 10 at the conclusion of round number 1. For your winner, by KO and still undefeated, Chris Camozzi.
And Sean, if that's what Chris Camozzi does to his friends, I'd hate to see what he does to an enemy. This guy 2-0 looking fantastic. Said he wants a challenge for the title. I think it's going to be hard for them to deny him of that.
Chris Camozzi had success in the UFC. He had success in Glory, and he is continuing a successful run in BKFC. 3 knockdowns to the finish versus Dan Spohn. Relentless pressure and power from Chris Camozzi. The winner by way of first-round knockout, Chris Camozzi defeats Dan Spohn.
Welcome to the new BKFC app. Get monthly BKFC events for $7.99.
This is the best show in combat sports.
Enjoy our all-new library of content, including behind-the-scenes access, exclusive BKFC original series, and additional live bare-knuckle fights from around the globe. Knuckle up with the new BKFC app, only $7.99 per month. Friday, October 25th, the world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, makes history yet again when two heavy-handed titans collide. It's Chris Camozzi versus Sawyer Depee in an all-out war for the vacant Cruiserweight Championship of the world. In the co-main event, Brandon Girtz knuckles up with Cameron VanCamp, plus 10 other vicious bare knuckle fights. No gloves, pure adrenaline. Watch history unfold live. Download the BKFC app now at bkfc.com.
Terrill versus Cameron VanCamp. Our tale of the tape is presented by Forged Irish Stout.
Almost identical, exact same height, weight, reach. I mean, these two guys on paper, this is going to be a great fight show. I cannot wait for this.
Cameron VanCamp set for fight number 2 in BKFC. He has had 24 pro MMA bouts, including the aforementioned 2 in the UFC. VanCamp told us in our fighter meeting, I want to start quickly, I want to throw high volume, and I want to keep coming forward from the mid-range.
He wants to get in his opponent's face the entire time, not take a step backward, push the pace, slip jabs, and get inside and land combos.
VanCamp also said overhand rights, big uppercuts in the clinch. I want to constantly throw body, head on the inside.
Wants to be aggressive, get into that mid-range. Feels like he needs to just flow in this fight. Last time he felt like he was a little too measured. He wants to just get in there, react, flow, take whatever his opponent gives him.
VanCamp also told us I have to keep slipping the jab, counter with combinations quickly when I slip the jab. I cannot get stuck on the outside. Terrill set for BKFC bout number 1. He's had 29 pro MMA fights, including one in both Bellator and PFL. He's 3-0 in pro boxing. Terrill was an NCAA Division I baseball player at the University of Alabama, where he was a center fielder. Terrill said, I'm very athletic. I'm naturally left-handed, but I predominantly like to fight orthodox. I will keep switching stances. Terrill also told us, a big part of my striking game is being unconventional. I'm going to be unconventional in the best sense of that term, and I believe my opponent in this co-main middleweight bout, Cameron VanCamp, will struggle with my angles. Terrill also told us, Chris, I really respect VanCamp's overall game, but I think he's mainly a grappler.
Well, says the main thing, he does not want to get hit in this. That shows he's studying. This isn't a fight you can just trade punches. Understands he wants to do exactly what we're talking about, hit and don't get hit.
To get our co-main started, Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now set for the co-main event. Scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Presented to you by Forged Irish Stout. Not here to take part, here to take over. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight he wears white and gold. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall. His official weight, 175.4 pounds. Tonight he steps into the squared circle ready for bare knuckle fight number 2. Fighting out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Here is Cameron Jumpman VanCamp. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out the blue corner. Tonight he wears red and gold. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall. His official weight, an identical 175.4 pounds. He holds a combined combat sports record of 32 fights, and tonight makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Millersville, Maryland, here is Micah "See Me" in charge of the action, Eric Irizarry.
Micah Terrill told us, I'm going to keep throwing punches from multiple angles. I think Cameron VanCamp will struggle to gain my timing. Round number 1. Red trunks for Micah Terrill. White and gold trunks for Cameron VanCamp. Smart measured start for both men. Step and jab, counter right hand. VanCamp nearly landed flush. VanCamp to the body with the right hook. That landed.
Terrill's got to be careful. He just popped that chin up. He's going to get hit on that. He's got to be careful putting that up. Ooh, good uppercut there, buddy.
The uppercut to the right hand. That was clever from Terrill. Camp resetting center circle. Doing the step in. Feint goes Terrill. Camp off the jab. Jab. Jab from Terrill. Terrill keeping his hands low, open-chested. That's by design. Trying to bait in VanCamp, where you see is keeping his hands much tighter. Step in right hand. Terrill taking himself off balance. There's the left hook to the right hand from VanCamp. Right hand again. Smearing blood on the face of Cameron VanCamp. He's cut on the bridge of his nose. 5 seconds remaining, round 1 of our co-main. Jab right back from Terrill. These are 2 high-level strikers, Chris.
Definitely different styles here.
We knew that going in. We're seeing it on full display. Good jab from Terrill. Good jab into the body from Micah Terrill. Even measuring.
Terrill, he talked about that awkward style. You can see it's giving VanCamp some problems right there trying to solve this matrix.
Terrill keeps talking to VanCamp. Not there. 20 seconds remaining, round 1. Back to the sternum lands from VanCamp. Fighters having their moments here in round number 1. Duck under from VanCamp. Step in right hand. Right hand just off the mark from Terrill. Stiff jab from Micah Terrill. We move to round 2.
Man, very interesting round right there. Terrill is awkward. He's unorthodox, exactly like he said he was. Good little cut on the face of VanCamp right there. Definitely get the feel that this fight could end early with just one clean punch that is landed by either guy.
This is a night of bare-knuckle prospects. There is a legitimate pro boxing prospect in the corner. Micah Terrill with the baseball cap. That is 10-0 pro boxer Joe Veazey.
You can just see their training partners. And you can just see that style right there from Terrill. He's in and out. He's all over the place. He's hard to hit.
Irizarry calling both fighters up to scratch round number 2. See the lowered stance, the open striking guard of Terrill. Camp on his back foot. Drops Micah Terrill. Beautiful counter on his back.
What a counter right there.
Terrill taking out his mouthpiece. Terrill taking the count from Irizarry.
Not getting up. Not getting up. He's hurt. He's hurt.
10 is reached. Win number 1 in BKFC for Cameron VanCamp.
That was a beautiful counter right there. I mean, just like I said right before that, you get the feeling this could end very quickly right there with just one punch. Terrill came in, had his hands out of position. That's all it took. One good counter, fight's over. This is bare knuckle, baby. And you can just see the disappointment right now in Terrill. He was looking great out there, hard to hit, very elusive, but just takes one shot. He got hit with it. I mean, he started to get aggressive, and that's the danger of getting aggressive, Sean. You open yourself up. He opened himself up to one little shot. VanCamp took him out.
Beautiful right hand for the finish. Cameron VanCamp. Micah Terrill flat on his back when he took out his mouthpiece, Chris. We know that is always a terrible sign for the down fighter.
Well, he was clearly hurt, so he got hit. Not that it's a knockdown, but when we took the mouthpiece out, you just know, okay, I can't do anymore, so. To take a look at this replay right here. Right on the button right there. Just a nice short little right hand. Look at that. perfectly placed.
The left never fully landed. It is the right hand that finished Micah Terrill in this fight. Beautiful from Cameron VanCamp. We go to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Eric Irizarry, reaches the count of 10 at 25 seconds into round number 2. For your winner by KO, Cameron Jumpman VanCamp.
All right, standing here with Cameron VanCamp. I don't know what was cleaner, that knockout or that fadeaway after the knockout. That was clean, man. Congratulations. Win number 1 of the BKFC, and you did it in dramatic fashion over a very tough Micah Terrill.
Yeah, hey, first of all, I want to say all glory to God. Without him, we wouldn't be here. Yeah. You know, I wanted to fight in my weight class, but he wouldn't do it. I came here, I fought him in his weight class in his hometown, and I just want to be on big shows. I want to fight in stadiums.
Well, you're definitely on your way, man. You're right here in front of David Feldman. He's watching you very closely. You're going to get these opportunities. With that being said, man, what do you think you need to do to get to the next level? Is it going to be another big knockout like that?
Yeah, no, I just got to keep working. Everything's starting to click now. I came here, I beat him in his hometown, up a weight class, like I said. I could use some money. I think that's worth a bonus.
Hey, I'm with you. I'm on your side. Let's hear it out here for Cameron VanCamp.
Great victory for VanCamp. Showed power right there, showed precision. Just showed a nice, calm demeanor right there. When the opponent came in, he took an opportunity and he capitalized on it. Great job for Cameron VanCamp.
Micah Terrill was using the creativity, using the angles and striking he told us he wanted, but beautifully timed with the right hand for the finish. The left hand followed, it did not matter. The winner by way of second round knockout, Cameron VanCamp defeats Micah Terrill.
Welcome to the new BKFC app. Get monthly BKFC events for $7.99.
This is the best show in combat sports.
Enjoy our all-new library of content, including behind-the-scenes access, exclusive BKFC original series, and additional live bare-knuckle fights from around the globe. Knuckle up with the new BKFC app, only $7.99 per month. Friday, October 25th, the world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, makes history yet again when two heavy-handed titans collide. It's Chris Camozzi versus Sawyer Depee in an all-out war for the vacant Cruiserweight Championship of the world. In the co-main event, Brandon Girtz knuckles up with Cameron Jumpman VanCamp, plus 10 other vicious bare knuckle fights. No gloves, pure adrenaline. Watch history unfold live. Download the BKFC app now at bkfc.com.
Brandon Girtz versus Christian Torres.
You can see here, Sean, not much difference in these two guys. 5'8", 5'7", a slight 2-inch reach advantage for Torres, but that's no big deal for Brandon Girtz. He knows every time gonna have to work to get inside, but it's up to Torres to make him pay every time he tries to step close.
Set for bout number 6 in BKFC, Christian Torres. He's also had one pro MMA bout, one in pro boxing. In our fighter meeting, Torres told us that in training for this fight versus Brandon Girtz, his main focus was on footwork. He said, I have excellent cardio, probably the best of my entire career, pro or amateur, and with that cardio, I will continue to move.
Definitely wants to move a lot like you talked about, working on angles, working on avoiding power shots and then countering right away. Wants to get to the mid-range. Thing I thought was very interesting, he feels like his opponent gets cut open on that right eye, really wants to target that, throw a lot of left hands.
Of his opponent in this welterweight bout, Brandon Girtz, Christian Torres also said, I think he's mainly a grappler. He's going to try to be rough in the clinch. He's going to try to brawl. He's also going to throw a lot of overhand. I have to establish myself in the mid-range, Torres told us, but I cannot let Girtz get to the inside.
Yeah, doesn't want to clinch with him. Wants to stay on the outside. Feels like his opponent's going to get in, try to swarm him. It's up to him to stop that from happening. Pick his shots and be patient out there.
This is bout number 2 in bare knuckle fighting championship for Brandon Girtz. He's had 26 pro MMA fights, including 16 in Bellator. Girtz, an NCAA Division II Wrestling All-American at Minnesota State. Girtz told us in our fighter meeting, and this his second fight in BKFC, he wants to be more patient. I know Girtz from Bellator. I was there for a lot of his outstanding run. Girtz said, you know how I fight in MMA. It's difficult for me to be patient, but I understand the bare knuckle fighting. I can't rush in. I can get cut. I can get caught on any punch, as I did against that jab versus Jake Lindsay last October, which cut my eye and ultimately led to the stoppage of this fight and my loss. Girtz said, I feel confident I can explode anytime. Key for me is to explode at the right time.
Yes, he said he cannot be reckless rushing in there, wants to use more head movement. He said he felt like last time, only 2 minutes. That was such a quick time, but he realized you do have time to set things up there, and he does want to set things up this time. Can't rush in. He feels like the problem with him is sometimes he loves to get in there and bang. He loves to trade. He cannot do that in this sport. He understands he feels like he's more technically sound than his opponent, and he has to utilize that technical ability.
Girtz said, I believe Christian Torres wants to make this a rugged fight and a fast-paced fight. Girtz said, that is perfect for me. I hate the chase, but I just can't make this an outright brawl. I have to be smart. We go to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for the next fight of the night. Scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the welterweight division. Presented to you by Fubo TV. Watch live sports and TV without cable, including BKFC at Fubo TV. Start your 7-day free trial at FuboTV.com. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight he wears black and blue trimmed in flames. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. His official weight, 164.7 pounds. Tonight, he steps into the squared circle ready for bare knuckle fight number 6. Fighting out of Endicott, New York. Here is Christian, the Terminator, Torres. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight, he wears blue trimmed in white and silver. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. His official weight, 165.8 pounds. He returns to BKFC ready for his second bare knuckle fight. Fighting out of Denver, Colorado. Here is Brandon Girtz. And our referee in charge of the action, Nick Behrens.
Christian Torres said, I have to use excellent movement as Girtz comes forward, which I know he will. Cross hook combos. Round number 1. You did start off from scratch for both fighters. Blue trunks for Brandon Girtz, multicolored trunks for Christian Torres. There was the patience immediately that he said he wanted from Brandon Girtz. Step in with the left hand. Torres very measured as well. Make no mistake though, Girtz wants the inside pocket and clinch. Torres wants the mid-range. Big right hand, big shots now into the defensive clinch for Christian Torres. Ferocious shots from the half-time block from Brandon Girtz. Big left hand, right hand, and down goes Christian Torres.
Torres was hurt there badly. He tried to tie up his opponent, but he still went down.
Brandon Girtz off camera just gave the Josh Barnett throat slash to Christian Torres.
You can bet Girtz is going to go for the finish right here, right away.
Looking for the rapid fire finish, overhand right. Big uppercuts from the half-time block from Brandon Girtz. Ferocious uppercuts, knockdown number 2.
You can see Torres is badly hurt right now, Sean. I don't think he's getting back up.
The count of 10 and a huge win for Brandon Girtz.
And that's exactly what he wanted. He was so mad the way that first fight stopped against a very, very good Jake Lindsay. Wanted to come out right away. Everything he wanted to have happen, happened right there. He showed a lot of growth, Sean. He was patient that time. He waited for the right time. He exploded in. And you can see right here, he even took a punch. It was just that hard right hand. He was even backing away. hurt his opponent with that. And once he got in there, he realized his opponent was hurt, and then he did damage right there. He made him pay when he was hurt. That's what you have to do. You hurt a guy, you got to jump all over him in this sport. And that's just a good, powerful tie clinch right there that have Ty Plum in there throwing a lot of punches, making his opponent pay every time. Even if they're not landing clean, Sean, those are still landing, and they're still hurting, and they're still doing damage.
That shades of our friend Chris Lieben versus Justin Baseman in BKFC. Christian Torres is a really talented BKFC fighter, and he was steamrolled by the outstanding Brandon Girtz. Brandon Girtz, I thought, was pure class in Bellator. I thought he was one of the best pound for pound on the roster. And I think he can be an absolute force at 165 in BKFC. Here is Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Nick Perez, reaches the count of 10 at 1 minute 10 seconds into round number 1. For your winner by KO, Brandon Girtz.
And Sean, if you talk to Brandon Girtz, he still feels like he's undefeated in this sport, feels like he's a top contender, and right there you watch what he has. The sky is the limit for this guy. He could be a factor in a lot of tough fights against a lot of good people in the sport.
Jake Lindsay, who just had an outstanding victory versus Connor Tierney, no doubt watching at home in Manhattan, Kansas. Girtz no doubt would like that rematch versus Lindsay. Jake Lindsay never backs away from a fight. Torres came out strong, and Girtz finished strong. Christian Torres tried to get into the mid-range. Brandon Girtz exploded to the inside for the finish. The winner by way of first-round knockout, Brandon Girtz defeats Christian Torres.
Fighting Championship is presented by Bucked Up Energy Drink. Welcome to Denver, Colorado. Between the incredible Rockies in the background and a history that is ultimately rich in fighting, it's a perfect setting for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Tonight, we're in the Denver Coliseum for the first time and set to find a new champion by the end of the night. And welcome, yes, for the very first time, we're in the Denver Coliseum, our 5th time in the Mile High City, and what an incredible night it's going to be. BKFC 67 in the main event. Chris Camozzi and Sawyer Depee will battle for the vacant BKFC Cruiserweight Championship. That and so many more guaranteed bangers tonight here in Denver. Right now, you are locked in to the free view. That is 3 free fights. But if you want to watch that incredible main event, this entire show, then we need you to get on the BKFC app. And it's very simple. You get to your app store of your choice. You download the BKFC app, and for $7.99, you're going to get all of tonight's festivities, all of the fights. Gonna be great, folks. And not only are you going to get tonight's fights, you're going to get next week when we're back overseas in the UK, in Newcastle, and you'll get Fight Night Los Angeles on the 23rd of November. That is all going down $7.99 tonight. Now, just 2 weeks ago, well, we had, the biggest fight in all of BKFC history. When you look at the spectacle of Marbella, Spain, on the coast of the Mediterranean, an incredible Marbella arena. It looked like a Roman Coliseum, and that is what you got. You got Roman Coliseum plus a black tie of Arabs, something like I've never seen before. Let's take a look at some of these highlights. Arby Chikaya, Daniel Toledo, and Arby Chikaya was not wasting any time, setting the tone for the entire night with that vicious knockout. 3 in a row. Take a look at him. 1, 2, and on the way down, number 3 shutting down Daniel Toledo. Big win for Arby Chikayev, and that was going to be the beginning of so many great finishes. Hannah Rankin, Deborah Melhorn, Rankin making her highly awaited debut, a former world champion boxer, taking on a last-minute replacement in Melhorn, and she gave her a fight. This was a war of attrition. Hannah Rankin, though, able to outlast this war, getting the victory. Took a lot of damage. What a debut. Speaking of big debuts, Dan Chapman, it wasn't quite as dramatic. He just ran through his opponent. Dan Chapman is going to be a major problem, as you can see. Deadly striking, incredible accuracy. I mean, he was landing nearly everything he threw. We're talking about a potential future champion in the organization, Dan Chapman. Current champion Dave Mundell and Danny Christie went to war, the bastard. Danny Christie was trying to give Mundell all he could handle, but Dave Mundell, like he does, just continues to run through challengers. As you can see, the power of the redneck, Dave Mundell, as Danny Christie hung in there, but it was not to be. Dave Mundell with another highlight reel finish. Dave Mundell still on top of the middleweight, still on top of the world. That was just your feature found, the co-main Austin Trout and Rico Franco. Now this was a great fight. Rico Franco came to fight, but Austin Trout just makes it look too easy. Some of the slickest movements, the slickest strikes that we've ever seen in a BKFC squared circle. That's what you got out of Austin Trout. As you can see, just lining him up. Franco continued to put the pressure on, but Austin Trout was just too wily, too slick, and was able to keep that title right there on his shoulder. Big defense there for Austin Trout. Franco Tenaglia, Tony Loco Soto for the vacant lightweight title. And this thing was nasty from the beginning. Quite possibly the best fight in BKFC history. You see the early knockdown, Franco Tenaglia, but then Tony Soto would respond, gets in the face of Tenaglia. But that would not be it. You see Soto rushing Tenaglia. Tenaglia putting him back on the ground. This was a very, very tight decision as they went the entire distance. It looked like something out of a Rocky movie. Such a special, special fight. And Franco Tenaglia, what a scene it was, him winning the title in Spain, where he calls home. And of course, the notorious Conor McGregor got this crowd wild from beginning to end. It was a party afterwards. Conor McGregor has totally flipped this show upside down as we continue to move forward. Now let's go ahead and go down to our commentary team, the ringside right now. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm still kind of getting over the lag that was Spain. I mean, that was such a spectacle, so special. It was everything that we thought it was going to be and more. Guys, how do you reflect on the night that was BKFC on DAZN #1?
Cyrus, it was phenomenal. Spain's Costa del Sol, Chris, fighters from 12 different nations on that absolutely loaded BKFC card, including 3 world title fights.
I mean, the card was amazing, but the atmosphere was even better. I haven't been in a fight in a long time where you had just the fans were so ready to be there, dressed. The whole place was electric. Going to the town, all over the town. They knew we were going to be there. It was exactly what I want BKFC to be. It was a special night. The fights were amazing. Everybody was satisfied.
You know, guys, I mean, this has been a worldwide brand for a few years now. We're going to be back in the UK next week, just for instance. And then we've heard President David Feldman talk about returning to Spain, maybe going to Madrid and to a massive soccer stadium. We're hearing all kinds of country. This international expansion, as much as we talk about it, I think it's picking up steam right now more than it ever has, guys.
There's no question about it. Chris, you go back to BKFC 4. That was your final fight. Then you became my outstanding commentary partner. We were in Cancun. Since then, you think about it, we've gone to Thailand, we've gone to the UK, Japan, Bulgaria, Spain, back to Mexico. The international expansion of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship absolutely rolls on. Many more nations to come in 2025 and beyond.
But Sean, I mean, just going to Spain, that was a different level. You can just see how hungry the world, especially the areas in Europe, those guys want us to be there. It's going to be huge wherever we go. I think we're going to sell out. I think it's going to be a big deal.
100%, guys. And of course, coming up later tonight, we have an incredible main event. It's your OnlyFans exclusive look as a hometown boy. Chris Camozzi gets another opportunity at that Cruiserweight Championship, and he's going to make it count tonight. But it's not going to be an easy night at the office because that guy out of Montana, he is special, a hard hitter, an absolute monster. Sawyer Depee is coming to become the king of the Cruiserweights. It is Camozzi, it's Depee. Gentlemen, let's talk about this main event.
Cyrus, this is really intriguing. The winner becomes the new BKFC Cruiserweight World Champion. Chris Camozzi versus Sawyer Depee. Chris Camozzi, 19 fights in the UFC. Sawyer Depee, Chris, of course, his professional combat sports debut coming in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship.
And that's the big thing. Total different places in their career. Chris Camozzi, he really wants that title. Very elusive the entire time. He's never been able to be the title holder. Very close. He's fought for the title. This is his time, he feels like. Sawyer Depee, he came pro with us. This was his first organization. He feels like he has youth. He has the experience in bare knuckle, and this is his time.
Chris, you have tonight's fight odds there, presented by Kurgo, the official betting partner of BKFC.
There's so many good fights, so much to be made right here. I'm going to do something a little strange. I'm going with the underdog. Not a smart move a lot of times, but I think I know what I'm talking about. Jordan Christensen, his 8th fight for us at +117. I like that bet.
The rules of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship tonight. We're under the auspices of the Colorado State Athletic Commission. Punching in the active clinch is allowed. All kicks, knees, and elbows are illegal, as are all takedowns and submissions. We open tonight here in Denver with the bout in the lightweight division. Ruben Arroyo versus Nash Diederichs. You see our tail of the tape. It is presented by Bucked Up Energy Drink.
And Sean, very close with the tail of the tape. Only a 2-inch height advantage, 1.5-inch reach advantage for Diederichs. Very similar for the tail tape. This is going to be a good fight, though.
The Canadian from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Nash Diederichs, now set for his second bout in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Diederichs was 1-0 in amateur boxing. He is naturally right-handed. He told us he will smartly switch stances throughout this fight, but he will not force those stance switches. Diederichs said long, straight punches from both ortho and southpaw throughout.
He has to utilize whatever reach he has. He wants to utilize a lot of jabs, stay relaxed, a lot of 1-2s, but utilize that reach, make his opponent pay for getting close.
Diederichs told us in our fighter meeting, I cannot allow my opponent Ruben Arroyo to pull me into a brawl. I don't want to try to force the knockout. What I want to do is smartly pick apart Ruben Arroyo from range.
Well, he has to utilize more head movement this time, but he really wants to dictate the pace. He feels like whoever controls when and where the fight happens is going to win. I agree with him on that fact.
Ruben Arroyo now set for his bare knuckle fighting championship debut. Arroyo 12-2 in his pro MMA career. In our fighter meeting, he told us he watched the live BKFC 25 broadcast, and he said he knew after that broadcast that he wanted to fight in bare knuckle fighting championship. In this his BKFC debut, Arroyo said, I want a very fast start. He said, I will most definitely take chances to record the quick knockout.
Thinks he needs to go the body early, then go the head later. A lot of 1-2s, hooks, uppercuts. He's coming in with power shots.
Arroyo most definitely had our quote of the week for all 20 fighters in our fighter meetings. He said, quote, one of us is going to get knocked out quickly, and I hope that it's him.
Definitely going for the fast start. He's swinging for the fences. I saw this guy in the tryouts. These guys coming to put on a fight. Can't wait to see this guy. All the guys from the tryouts, I love watching, but man, this one's going to be a good one.
To get us started, we send it to the always outstanding Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to the fabulous Denver Coliseum here in Denver, Colorado. And welcome to BKFC 67. BKFC for review begins tonight with 5 2-minute rounds in the lightweight division. Presented to you by Bucked Up Energy Drink. Get bucked up. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight he wears black and gold. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. His official weight, 155.6 pounds. Tonight he toes the line for the second time. Fighting out of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. Here is Nash, the Ghost Diederichs. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears black and red. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. His official weight, 154.2 pounds. Tonight, he makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Denver, Colorado, by way of El Paso, Texas. Here is Ruben the Beast Arroyo. And our referee in charge of the action, Andrew Glenn.
Nash Diederichs told us, I believe, that Ruben Arroyo was going to start this fight immediately, swinging big for the knockout. Diederichs said, Arroyo's power punches are my main concern. The call of knuckle up from referee Andrew Glenn, round number 1. And to the surprise of no one, including Nash Diederichs, rapid fire start off of scratch for Ruben Arroyo. Black and red trunks, black and gold trunks for the Canadian Nash Diederichs.
Arroyo's got to be careful. He's coming out with reckless abandonment, and you can tell this is his first bare knuckle fight, because you do that a few times, you get popped, you decide that's not the best strategy.
Diederichs by design, on his back foot. On the jab, there's the big overhand right, counter right hand from Diederichs. Overhand right again, and again the counter from Diederichs.
Once again, Arroyo, he's throwing hard punches, but man, they're telegraphed.
Stiff jab from Diederichs. Arroyo most definitely loading up on those overhand rights. Another stiff jab from Ortho. Check left hook from Diederichs.
And that cut him. I think Arroyo might be hurt.
Diederichs now coming to the inside. Over the neck. Gets the break from referee Andrew Glenn. Punch on the break. There's the soft warning.
Arroyo's hurt already.
Right back to it. 60 seconds remaining, round number 1. We're at 155 pounds. Off the jab, overhand right again, off the mark from Ruben Arroyo. The Texan now based here in Colorado. Arroyo continuing to swing big with that overhand right. Stiff jab again.
Arroyo's not setting it up, he's just throwing it blindly.
Traps Ruben Arroyo.
He's been hurt for a while. Let's see if he can make it up. I think he's too hurt.
Andrew Glenn breaks off his count. Diederichs.
Hey, that's exactly what happens. You come in throwing hard punches like that without setting up. You got to get into position. You can't throw a lead right hand and leave your face open the way it would. This would be a learning experience for him. He has to set things up better. He can't go out there and just try and throw your hard right hand. There's more to it than that.
That was quality from Nash Diederichs. Quietly confident was Diederichs in our fighter meeting. And again, he said, I believe that Arroyo was going to swing big. That's my main concern. I have to avoid those punches and fight a technical fight.
I mean, your hometown!
So many good shots that Dedrick landed. He just waited for the right time. He was patient. Sean, we talk about experience being everything in this sport. It was only one fight, but Dedrick had it. Arroyo didn't, and you can see the difference.
Ruben Arroyo again said, quote, one of us is going to get knocked out quickly, and I hope that it's him. Instead, it was Arroyo on the bad side of the knockout. Nash Diederichs showing his class from range, working the jab from the orthodox stance, avoiding those powerful overhand rights coming from Ruben Arroyo. Diederichs the jab, and then turning over the short right to the victory.
So that's what we have to like about these early fights, these prelim fights we have with BKFC, is you have guys with not much experience. However, one fight compared to zero, you could totally see the difference between 1 and 0 fights, but this is where they come in, they get their feet wet, they understand the sport. Arroyo learned a lot in this fight, I'm sure.
Win number 1 in BKFC for the Canadian from Saskatchewan, Nash Diederichs. Diederichs has been very muted throughout fight week, but now elated in victory.
And Sean, so much emotion, so much pressure you put on yourself to win that fight. It all comes out after the fight ends.
Here's Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Andrew Glenn, steps in, calling a stop to this fight at 1 minute 28 seconds into round number 1. For your winner by TKO, Nash the Ghost Diederichs.
And you can see the improvement from fight number 1 to fight 2 from Diederichs. Shows he's a high-level guy. He understands the sport much better now, and he's just going to keep improving.
Great sportsmanship being demonstrated between Arroyo and Diederichs. Arroyo exploding off of scratch, continuing to throw big overhand rights. Diederichs staying calm, staying technical, working the jab, the short right hand to the finish. The winner by way of first round TKO, Nash Diederichs defeats Ruben Arroyo.
All these UFC stars are looking kind of a little funny in my division.
Jimmy Rivera.
And right, left hand on the counter from Rivera.
Kai Stewart's running. You don't want to take that belt.
Jimmy Rivera, Kai Stewart for that featherweight champion.
Fight fans of Hollywood.
Sends Joey Escobar to the camera.
I'm already the fucking champ, man. Period.
I'm telling you, there's just a difference when Faria hits you.
And Christine V. Sands now 3-0 in BKFC. OnlyFans brings you our tale of the tape for this bout at 155 pounds. Dusty Sparks versus Hassan Al-Ghanim.
And Sean, there is a significant 6-inch height advantage for Sparks. However, only a 1-inch reach advantage.
Hassan Al-Ghanim is 2-0 in BKFC. His most recent victory occurred this past August when he defeated Ryan Ibsen by first-round TKO.
And Hassan believes in one thing, power. It's like all he has to do is get out, land those power shots that he has, and he's going to knock anybody out in this weight class. And so far, he's proven that to be true. Gets in, waits for the right time. He's not wildly throwing punches. He waits for the right time. He waits till the distance is close, and then he lands his hard overhand rights and left hook, just continues to throw hard. Waits to get in position, waits to get into where he can land that one punch. If he does it tonight, he thinks he's going to win once again.
in Western Canada in the great city Edmonton, Alberta, Hassan Al-Ghanim. Entering 2-0 in BKFC, Al-Ghanim 8-2 in amateur boxing. In our fighter meeting, Hassan Al-Ghanim told us, I want to utilize constant pressure while keeping myself out of bad positions, showcase excellent footwork to properly set up my punches.
Well, that's the thing, Sean. He believes in his power, knows if he lands a shot, he hurts people. But he has to use the footwork to get there. Get into position, can't throw from far away, get to where he needs, and then unload that power.
Of his opponent in this lightweight bout, Dusty Sparks, Hassan Al-Ghanim said, I believe that Sparks will try to stay long and work off of the jab. I have to be aware of his 1-1-2s. I believe that I'm going to have better footwork than Sparks. And Al-Ghanim said, I believe I'm going to have much bigger punching power than Dusty Sparks.
Well, the first part, he has to get his opponent's timing down. Once he gets his timing down, the fight's over. It feels like he has to wait for the right time, and then he can either wait and counter his opponent, or if he feels he has the advantage, come in and land first. But either way, he just has to get the timing of his opponent down, and then he can land those power shots.
In setting up counters, Al-Ghanim said, I will use feints. I believe that will make Sparks react, and I believe it will open him up.
Definitely feels like he has a higher fight IQ than his opponent, and is going to showcase that tonight.
From Fort Smith, Arkansas, Dusty Sparks, now set for fight number 1 in BKFC. Sparks enters 1-0 in the sport of bare knuckle. He's also had 1 pro kickboxing bout. Dusty Sparks told us in our fighter meeting, I want to stay long, use excellent head movement, outstanding footwork, always from range.
When he understands his sport, says he's not a fool, he's not going to sit in his opponent's range and throw punches and trade. In and out motion, lateral movement, counter when his opponent tries to get in, and stay long.
Sparks also said 1-2s. I believe that I can keep Hassan Al-Ghanim on the outside with my jab. Sparks said I do not want to load up on my punches.
Well, that's the saying. Keep the jab, keep his opponent in range, wait till his opponent comes in. That's when he sits down on the punch. When his opponent rushes in, sits down, throws a hard shot, and then pivots out.
Sparks said, I believe my opponent, Hassan Al-Ghanim, is going to be extremely aggressive from the start of this fight. But with that aggression, Sparks said, I believe Hassan Al-Ghanim is infinitely hittable.
Not only that, but he feels like winging all those punches spends a lot of energy. As this fight goes on, he's going to tire and he's going to slow down.
Back to the ring, and Jeff Houston.
We are set for the next fight of the night, scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the lightweight division, presented to you by OnlyFans. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, tonight he wears black and gold. He stands 5 feet 5 inches tall. His official weight, an even 156 pounds. He is undefeated in the squared circle at 2-0. Fighting out of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, by way of Samoa, Iraq. Here is Hungry Hassan Al-Ghanim. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears white and blue. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall. His official weight, 155.3 pounds. He holds an undefeated bare-knuckle fighting record at 1-0, and tonight makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Fort Smith, Arkansas, here is Dusty Sparks. And our referee in charge of the action, Joe Coca.
Dusty Sparks told us, I have to be very respectful of Hassan Al-Ghanim's punching power. Controlling distance is my key to victory.
Knuckle up!
Both fighters up to scratch. Call of knuckle up from Joe Coca. Round number 1. Check left hook from Hassan Al-Ghanim, immediately coming forward to the inside. Sparks back to range, but on his back foot. Stiff jab to the right, to the body. Overhand right goes Al-Ghanim.
Sparks got to be careful backing himself up against the ropes. There's nowhere to go, so he needs a circle. Can't back straight up.
Stop,
and the underhook. Knuckle up. Activity on the clinch. Good separation from Joe Coca. Right back to it. Al-Ghanim 5'5" to Sparks 5'11". Stiff jab, double jab from Dusty Sparks. Very much the quintessential range fight, Chris.
That's what Sparks sees. He continue to throw jabs from far away.
Big right hand, left hand. You saw Sparks bouncing against the third rope.
Knuckle up!
On him to the mid-range, off the jab, counter right hand from Sparks. Sparks turned over that right hand. On him again to the inside, just misses with the overhand right after the check left hook from Sparks. Get into the clinch, 55 seconds remaining, round number one.
And this could be a strategy for Sparks. Try and tie his opponent up a lot, wear him down, go to the second, third round, see how he does there.
Check left hook again from Al-Ghanim, just off the mark. There's the big overhand right. Sparks on his back foot, again to the mid-range. Al-Ghanim on the overhand right now into the clinch. Both fighters down. The double slip immediately by Joe Coca. Right back to it with 30 seconds remaining in the first round. On his back foot, moving to his right now, Dusty Sparks, trying to stay on the outside.
That's what Sparks needs to keep moving laterally. He can't stand right in front of his opponent and trade.
On him mirroring the hips, but takes that overhand right from Sparks. On him walking through it effectively, coming forward again, Hassan Al-Ghanim, stiff jab. The jab again, Sparks missing with the left hand, long jab just off the mark from Dusty Sparks. There's the 1-2, the bell, that ends round number one.
Good feel out round. I mean, Sparks did a good job of surviving that round. His opponent was coming after him pretty intently.
Don't stand in front of him and trade with him. You can't trade, okay? When he lowers his head, Dusty, he's looking for overhands and uppercuts, but he's hanging his hand by his nipple, right? So high shoulder with your check hook and bury your chin and exit out that way when he attacks. You hit him with the check hook 3 times clean this round, okay? I love what you're doing. Deep breath. Come on, deep breath.
Good man. Good man. How you feeling? That's it, baby.
It's your fight. He does not want to be here, but we got to set it up, okay? When you hurt him, come on, good man.
I liked what I heard from both corners. Sparks telling him, throw that check up and continue to move out as you do so. Perfect advice. Doesn't want to stand in front and trade with a powerful side.
Fighters up to scratch, round number two. There's the 1-2 coming forward from Dusty Sparks. Sparks check left hook, pay right hand from Hassan Al-Ghanim.
And that's that timing.
There's a left hand. Right hand. Down goes Dusty Sparks.
Hassan has really timed his opponent. He sees it coming.
6. Up at 6. Here's the mandatory eight count given to Sparks from Joe Coca.
Sparks is hurt. He's bleeding. See, he might not want to be in there anymore. Hassan has to step on the gas right now.
Al-Ghanim staying poised in the mid-range, lands that right hand. Right hand right back into the clinch. Short right hand just misses from Sparks. Coming forward with authority, Hassan Al-Ghanim. Sparks, to his credit, still swinging big. You see the smear of blood down and across Sparks' left eye. To the body, overhand right, left hand. Good sequence now from Dusty Sparks. Hard right hand. Counter right hand from Al-Ghanim.
And you can see Sparks, he knows he's hurt right now. He has to do something different. He's coming after his opponent.
There's the overhook. Hook separation from Joe Coca, keeping this lightweight fight moving right back to it. Big swings from Al-Ghanim just off the mark. Counter right hand in the left hand from Dusty Sparks. There's the hard overhook from Hassan Al-Ghanim. Separation again from Joe Coca.
Al-Ghanim, he really needs to go to the body at this point. His opponent, big, wide open body throw, do some damage.
Stop. Watch the overhand over the head.
Joe Coca telling Al-Ghanim, watch the overhook, overhand on the head of Dusty Sparks. That drew the immediate separation. Now 25 seconds remaining, round two. Al-Ghanim dropping Sparks here, early stages of this second round. But off the canvas, Sparks has had some of his most effective striking sequences.
Sparks looks like this really woke him up. He's ready to fight now.
Big right hands, counter left, big right hand from Dusty Sparks, and another in the clinch. Left hand right uppercut to the body from Sparks. Final seconds, round number two. There is the bell.
Wow, that was a very interesting round. Sparks got dropped. He looked very hurt for a while, but he came back with a vengeance.
Hey,
looked like that really woke him up. He's ready to fight now.
Look at me. Yeah? Hey. All the way in or all the way out. Yeah? You played at range and he caught you with that overhand. All the way in or all the way out. He's talking. He's trying to get in your head. He's trying to lull you into that firefight. When you're all the way in or you're countering and moving, you're hitting him every time. And you fucked him up when you start going there. I want you to fight him like you have rabies when you're in the clinch. Do you understand me?
And this was right at the beginning of that round. Good jab. You can see that did some damage to Sparks. Just waiting for the right time. It's a jab that caused that damage. And that woke Sparks up. Good advice from the corner. All the way in or all the way out. You don't want to stand in that mid-range.
First up to scratch to start round number 3, Dusty Sparks. Hassan Al-Ghanim now up to scratch. And a medical timeout called by referee Joe Coca. Here's the medical assessment.
Okay.
This fight will continue. Medical clearance. In ringside position from the Colorado Athletic Commission. Round number 3 underway. Down to a knee goes Dusty Sparks, ruled a slip by Joe Coca. Stiff jab from both men. Open-chested stance from Hassan Al-Ghanim coming forward overhand right, and that's ruled a slip by Joe Coca.
You can see the strength now, I mean, just the way he pushes his opponent down to the ground.
Big right hand, counter right hand. Hard, clean shot from Al-Ghanim on that right hand. Sparks again taking himself to the ring ropes. Heavy on the back foot. Overhand right just off the mark from Al-Ghanim. Long on the jab again. There's the entry from Sparks. Into the clinch. Short right hand. On the active clinch. There's the turn. Good refereeing from Joe Coca, allowing that sequence to play through. Short right hand. Sparks turned over that right hand.
Landed, I mean, Al-Ghanim just continued to walk through it.
Al-Ghanim continuing to take and indeed walk through some big punches. At chancery position, immediate separation from Joe Coca. 60 seconds remaining, round number 3. There's the step-in naked right hand from Sparks. To the body, rear right uppercut. That was slick from Al-Ghanim.
And this is where Sparks wanted to be in the later rounds, wearing his opponent out, see where that gas take is.
Heavy in the clinch goes Dusty Sparks. 45 seconds remaining, round 3. Al-Ghanim coming forward again, immediately in the mid-range off the 1-2. Stiff jab again from Hassan Al-Ghanim. Now the clinch initiated by Dusty Sparks, snatches the half-tie plug. Right uppercut from Al-Ghanim, smothering clinch from Dusty Sparks. 20 seconds remaining, round 3. Al-Ghanim walking through the center circle. Lead uppercut from Sparks. You see the creativity now, the jab from Dusty Sparks. Both fighters continue to have their moments. One knockdown in this fight. Al-Ghanim dropping Sparks. Strong sequence now from Dusty Sparks. Final seconds, round number 3. Now Al-Ghanim on the right hand. Left jab right back from Sparks. Next stop, round 4.
And shall we talk about this sport is different. Sometimes it takes fighters somewhere between 1 to 4 rounds to figure it out. I figure it took Sparks about 1.5 rounds, and he's really figured this sport out. He's really looking good at these last few rounds.
He's slowing down. That's why he's not flopping gums. Look at him. Look at him. He's draped over the ropes. Yeah? Hey, I want you to start false starting, okay? When you guys break and you guys are going to re-engage, make it look like you're going to re-engage, then slide out, move off, and then tag him, okay? Yeah?
That's okay. That's okay. Breathe. Breathe. Listen, no going after him right away. Let him come in. Counter him when he's coming in, okay?
He's punching me right away.
Huh?
He's punching me right away. I can't get away from it.
No. You're going forward. That's why. Let him come in, okay? Use the jab. Let him come in here, water.
Seconds out.
Once again, great corner work done by both sides in this point. Hassan's corner telling him to counter as he comes in.
Ready?
Round number 4 underway. We start to round number 4. There's the double jab entry from Dusty Sparks. Right back to range. Swelling under Sparks' left eye. Stiff jab from Dusty Sparks. Long and clean. Jab again, left hand. Swelling under the left eye of Hassan Al-Ghanim. Double jab again from Sparks. Right hand from Al-Ghanim. Left hook from Sparks. Jab again. Sparks hard left hand. Al-Ghanim continues to walk through some very big punches, Chris.
Doesn't seem like it phases him at all. You can't keep taking punches like this in bare knuckle. You might get cut open.
Saw the level change, jab to the body from Hassan Al-Ghanim, back to the head.
Once again, I'm not seeing any body work from the side. I'd love to see him go that right hand to the body.
1-2, then the left hook. 55 seconds remaining, round 4. We are at 155 pounds. Ghanim on the jab. See the cut. Left corner of Hassan Al-Ghanim's brow. Swing and a miss with that lead left hook. Separation from Joe Coca, right back to it with the call of knuckle up. Right back to the mid-range goes Hassan Al-Ghanim into the jab.
Sparks just puts his back against the ropes the entire time. It's a dangerous strategy, but he's doing very well.
The jab 1-2, clean right hand on the counter from Dusty Sparks. Jab again from Sparks. On him on the jab, not fully through. 10-second clock, very late here, round number 4. Long jab, right hand, left hook. Into the striking guard of Dusty Sparks. We move to the 5th and final round.
Beautiful round. On that round, what I want you to do, okay? Don't rush. It's okay. Beautiful work, baby.
Here, you get close to me. How you doing, brother? Yes, sir. Breathe. Deep breaths, okay? Deep breaths. Here, grab a water. Okay, breathe. Breathe first. 2 more minutes, okay? You're beating the shit out of this guy, but you're taking some damage you don't need to, okay? Feint before. This round, 2 minutes. Clean punching, okay, bro? We can put this guy away. Even if you don't, you're winning the fucking, by the fucking point. You okay?
Some of the good work being done by Hassan, just a great counter right hand, which has been tough because Dusty Sparks has been doing a great job the last few rounds with dictating the pace.
Seconds out cold, set for the 5th and final round. Dusty Sparks versus Hassan Al-Ghanim. Sparks entering 1-0 in the sport of bare knuckle. This is his BKFC debut. Hassan Al-Ghanim 2-0 in bare knuckle. Both fight promotionally here in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship before the start of the 5th and final round. Another medical timeout called by referee Joe Coca. Assessment from the ringside physician from the Colorado Athletic Commission.
All right.
There is the clearance. Both fighters now off the scratch.
See the respect now, Sean.
Great sportsmanship.
Ready?
5th and final round underway. 1 knockdown. That was in the 2nd round. Al-Ghanim dropping Dusty Sparks. Irony of ironies. Off the canvas, Sparks then has really been doing his best work.
Good left hand by Sparks. Al-Ghanim needs to get in and throw some big shots.
That's not to say that Hassan Al-Ghanim is slowed down because he has been very effective since recording that knockdown as well. But since the knockdown, this has become a much more competitive fight.
100%. Still in the same thing, I'd like to say Al-Ghanim worked that right side of the body. He can throw that right hand. I guess working the left side of the body, I should say, with that right hand.
Al-Ghanim now mirroring the hips of Dusty Sparks. There's the right hand, step in with the left. Short right hand in the clinch. Heavy chest-to-chest pressure from Dusty Sparks. Right hand. On the left hand again, half-tie plum now snatched by Dusty Sparks. I like this refereeing from Joe Coca, Chris.
Well,
this is an active clinch.
They're working in there, they're hitting, they're landing. No need to break it up.
On the underhook, driving pressure again from Dusty Sparks. With the left hand. Clean switch, right uppercuts now from Dusty Sparks. Overhook snatched by Hassan Al-Ghanim with 50 seconds remaining, 5th and final round.
And people don't realize how exhausting that style of fighting is. That wears you out very quickly.
And the separation from Coca, right back to it. Off the jab, good duck under from Al-Ghanim.
Al-Ghanim, you can tell tired. He hasn't went this far in any of his fights so far.
Dusty Sparks in our fighter meeting said controlling the distance is my key to victory. His plan A was to control the distance on the inside. Plan B now is to control the distance on the inside, Chris.
It's good to be able to change. You have to be multiverse in this. You have to be able to work inside, outside, and he's shown he can do that.
Clever turn and a turn right back. Uppercuts to the body from Al-Ghanim, uppercuts to the head from Sparks. Final seconds remaining in this fight. On the right hand, overhook, help from Al-Ghanim. The bell, that's the end of a really entertaining fight.
And so I think that knockdown is going to play huge in this fight. Could definitely be the difference in who wins this contest. people don't realize how big of a difference a 10-8 round means. That means all Hassan had to do is win one more round, and the worst he can do is a draw.
On occasion, the Colorado Athletic Commission uses real-time open scoring. This is not one of those occasions, so we can only assume that it's a very safe assumption that all three Colorado judges giving Hassan Al-Ghanim a 10-8 round number 2 when he dropped Dusty Sparks. Sparks feeling very good about his performance.
Sparks should feel good about his performance. He went out there very new, very green to BKFC, got dropped early. Sometimes that's all you need to pack it up. Not this guy. He got up, got off the canvas. That lit a spark under him with the name, everything. Sparks lit a name under him, and then he continued to fight better.
Full credit to both fighters, Dusty Sparks and Hassan Al-Ghanim. And again, it's not that Al-Ghanim slowed down after dropping Sparks in round number 2. It's just that off the canvas, Sparks really picked up his game.
I think he figured it's do or die at this point. I'm in trouble. If I don't come after this guy, I am going to get knocked out. He stepped in and he did fantastic.
Two undefeated fighters, 155 pounds, 1-0 Dusty Sparks versus 2-0 Hassan Al-Ghanim going the distance. To end all suspense, here's Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we go to the decision, let's have a round of applause for these two lightweight warriors. After completing the scheduled 5 rounds, our judges at ringside have scored this fight 48-47, 49-45, and 48-46 to the winner by unanimous decision. And still undefeated, hungry Hassan Al-Ghanim.
Great fight, very good learning situation for Hassan. Understands how to go the distance now. He knocked people out early. This would be exactly what he needs to take his fight to the next level.
Not without adversity, but Hassan Al-Ghanim now 3-0 in BKFC. Credit to Dusty Sparks, showing a lot of resiliency in his BKFC debut. Off the canvas in round number 2. Very hard fought from Sparks in rounds 3, 4, and 5, but a unanimous decision win for Hassan Al-Ghanim. Victorious by way of unanimous decision, Hassan Al-Ghanim defeats Dusty Sparks.
We are all the way live from Satellite 5. I'm Brian Socha, and as always, so much to get into this week on the Bare Knuckle Show. We're glad you're hanging out.
Bare Knuckle just takes one shot. If he can land a good shot, he can do some damage.
6 new major signings, a new location overseas that we're going to be doing.
It gives me so much more energy and reason to go ahead and do what I do.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. It's inappropriate.
All these UFC stars are looking kind of a little funny in my division.
Jimmy Leu-Pierre.
And right, left hand on the counter from Rivera. Kai Stewart's running. You don't want to take that belt.
Jimmy Rivera, Kai Stewart for that featherweight champion. And we are live from the historic Denver Coliseum. BKFC 67 is brought to you by Bucked Up, OnlyFans, Grunt Style Apparel, and Forged Irish Stout. Denver, Colorado, we're in the Mile High City, bustling city here in Denver, a place we love to be. Incredible fans, awesome hype, and so many great fighters. Tremendous amount of fighters that are here in Denver. Great camps here. As you'll see, this whole card is littered with Denver fighters. They're all high caliber fighters. Like I said, it's kind of Denver versus everybody on this card tonight, including, of course, our blockbuster main event, Chris Camozzi, Denver zone, taking on Sawyer Depee. Gonna be tremendous. And hey, the co-main event, another Denver boy is in the house, and Brandon Girtz. And there he is, the one and only Brandon Girtz. It's your OnlyFans exclusive look. You'll see him in the co-main. Big welterweight matchup here. Implications going up the ladder. Brandon Girtz here for a good time, not a long time. He is looking to work his way up the rankings here in the welterweight division. Cameron VanCamp, here's another talented fighter out of Indianapolis, Indiana, continues to look good here. He's a finisher. Him and Girtz inside that squared circle, towing the line. Guaranteed to be a smashing fight. This is going to be a great co-main event. Cameron VanCamp, Brandon Girtz. Later on tonight, we want you to be a part of it all here in Denver. As the Denver Coliseum is filling up here, let's check in with Sean and Chris, who are ringside. And gentlemen, I love being here in Denver. I don't know about you, but we bring this up a lot. And Sean, with you being a historian, this is kind of where the UFC got. So it's not kind of. This is where it got started. And they are rich in fighting history. And they've become another great home, another great stop here for the BKFC for great reasons.
Well, I think that's my cue to say November 12th, 1993. McNichols Arena is gone where the Broncos play now. McNichols Arena was there. That's part of the parking lot. Actually paid a visit to that with my wife and 2 daughters, a UFC 1 pilgrimage 2 years ago. I've been thinking a lot about Art Davie and UFC 1 on this trip here. BKFC is so mirroring to me what Art Davie did when he launched the Ultimate Fighting Championship. That was a combat sports revolution. Art Davie and our BKFC founder and CEO, David Feldman, speak quite often. I put the two of them together, they formed a friendship. Art Davie said to David Feldman, "You're living my life now a couple of decades later." We're seeing BKFC and overall the sport of bare knuckle mirroring the growth of what Art Davie did with the UFC, starting with UFC 1 here in Denver almost 31 years ago now to the week, and then that rapid ascension of MMA. Just like what Art Davie did, Chris, David Feldman is doing that. Bringing in fighters from different disciplines. Look no further than our main event. You have Chris Camozzi, who fought 6 times in glory, 19 times in the UFC. Sawyer Depee was an NAIA wrestler. His professional combat sports debut coming in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship.
And that's what you have to love. Him coming in, this is his sport. He doesn't want to be a boxer. He didn't want to be an MMA guy. He wanted to be a bare knuckle fighter. I talked about this many times. I thought this would take 10 years before we got to this point. We haven't even been around 10 years, and we've had people like him. This is his 8th fight for us. So we have guys very quickly realizing how amazing this sport is, and this is what they want to do, and that's what we have in the main event.
You know, here's the thing. When you talk about that, I kind of resemble it to kind of wrestling where you get these guys that have come from the UFC, that have come from MMA ranks, and a lot of them have ascended to great heights here in the BKFC. You see guys like Mike Perry, you see guys from boxing like an Austin Trout. But then you got our BKFC originals, which you can't help but to pull for because they've been here since the beginning. A lot of them are title holders. So there's kind of this natural rivalry. You see it all over social media, and then you see it play out inside of our squared circle time and time again. It happens in our main event tonight. But talk about that dichotomy. Talk about that rivalry that we have, Sean, because I know you noticed it. And Chris, you were one of those UFC transplant guys, right? You were one of those guys that came over to bare knuckle. There's a bit of a rivalry here between those transplant guys and then our bare knuckle originals.
Yeah, Chris, you were most definitely the first wave. You think about our friend Joe Riggs, Rico Rodriguez, former UFC heavyweight champion at BKFC 1, Beck Rawlings coming in. Then the second wave of fighters, which includes Chris Camozzi, that includes Mike Perry. Now you're seeing fighters like Sawyer Depee. We're seeing also our BKFC 145-pound champion, Kai Stewart. He was 1-0 in MMA, and now he is fully committed at 24 years old to the sport of bare knuckle. Also is Cyrus, to your point, talking about the rivalry, the pro boxers coming in. We saw Hannah Rankin 2 weeks ago in Spain, a former 2-division world champion in women's boxing. She's number 9 overall for major organization boxing world champions. And Austin Trout, a world champion in boxing at 154 pounds, a world champion in BKFC at 165 pounds.
And there is a rivalry. You can tell a lot of the guys who were just starting off at BKFC, they're like, why am I not getting the love? Everybody's talking about this guy because he's done it with MMA, he's done it with boxing. This is a different sport. I'm better than him at this sport. But they got to understand, people know those guys from another realm. They've been popular already, and they see what I saw when I first saw this sport. Like, I have to do this. This is raw. This is real. This is everything I got into fighting to be part of. I saw it. It wasn't there when I was young. It's here now. So I got involved. I love it. But I'd already done a lot of other sports. I've been around, I've been seen, so people knew who I was. These new guys, that gives them a little extra chip on their shoulder, Sean. It gives them something like, I want to be better than this guy. I want to beat this guy. I want people to know who I am. It's taken some time, but it's going to happen. People are going to recognize how amazing this sport is. That rivalry is just going to make people fight better. It's going to add to what they're doing. I'm glad it's here, but at the end of the day, I don't care about the rivalry. I really don't. I want the best fighters in the world. And I don't care if you're an MMA guy, a boxer, or you've been bare knuckle the whole time. Whoever's the best fighter, that's the one to be out here.
So let's talk a little bit about moving forward here. And obviously, we are going to finish 2024 with a bang. Big fights. Obviously, we're going to be back overseas. We're going to be in Billings, Montana for the zone. We're going to be down in South Florida. But of course, we can't help but to be excited about going to the city of brotherly love. Now, there has been a lot of hype about this. There's a lot of talk, but it all starts with these BKFC tryouts. Eddie Alvarez is going to be there. You'll be there, Chris Lytle. Sunday, November 3rd. Of course, we're encouraging all fighters to register. This is where these BKFC originals come from. But this tryouts right here, these tryouts at the 2300 Arena are really going to set the stage for what we do in January. Date has not been officially announced, but in January, we have a blockbuster event in Philadelphia. Let's talk about these tryouts, Chris, and what can come from these tryouts, some of the great success stories that have come from these tryouts.
I love doing the tryouts. I'm looking for talent, but I'm looking for people who want to be part of what we're doing here. Hard-nosed people who don't mind getting in there and mix it up. You have a plan A, go out there and be skillful, but plan B is always bite down that mouthpiece and just go out the other person. We learned that at the trials. I've had a lot of good fighters come through there. I can always tell I've been doing this for a good portion of my life. I feel like I got a good eye for talent. If you want to be part of what we're doing, please come to a trial. I don't care if you're a boxer. I don't care if you're an MMA guy. I don't care if you've never done anything, but you want to be out here. I will put you on if you continue to show me you're coming to tryouts, you're improving, and you have the will to be doing what we're trying to do here. So I love the tryouts. This one's going to be special in Philadelphia. You know, this is where our company founder, David Feldman, he lives there. You don't think he's going to come to Philadelphia and not put on the biggest card we've ever put on? I think he's definitely going to do that. So we're looking for talent. We want people to come out, come to the tryouts, and be part of what we have going on.
Well, you got to believe that guy that was in the picture, that Eddie Alvarez, though. You feel like he might want to be a part of those festivities. Just a little speculation. We really don't know anything yet. There's a lot of stuff that's on the hush. I can tell you this much, though, going to be probably, we say this over and over again, guys, but it's going to be the biggest show in the history of this company, and we keep on hitting those milestones over and over again. You know, we look forward. Of course, we're excited about next week, going overseas, going back to the UK. But then Billings, Montana, you just brought up Kai Stewart. It's another one of those BKFC originals going against these MMA transplants, right? It's Kai Stewart, it's Jimmy Rivera. That is going to be a tremendous event. It is going to be on DAZN, but it's going to be a blockbuster up in Billings, guys.
You know, I'll reference Art Davey again. Art Davey said to me he thought that Frank Shamrock was UFC 2.0. He said Hoist Gracie was UFC 1.0. Then he saw Frank Shamrock and he said, that's a much more complete fighter. If Kai Stewart defeats Jimmy Rivera, it's an if, because Jimmy Rivera, UFC veteran and outstanding fighter, that's why he's in this world title fight. But if Kai Stewart defeats Jimmy Rivera in Billings, Montana on November 9th, you have to say that Kai Stewart is probably BKFC 2.0. Again, here's someone who is an NAIA wrestler, 1-0 in MMA, fully devoted to BKFC. The open-chested entries, the level changes, southpaw ortho, punches from very unusual angles. Nobody fights in the sport of bare knuckle like Kai Stewart right now.
He's done a great job of making this sport exactly what he wants it to be. He was a wrestler, and he was good at that, so he learned to get inside and tie people up and wear them down. But now he's learned how to strike much better, much more effectively. He's just a complete fighter all over the place. Jimmy Rivera, an excellent fighter in his own right, has high-level experience. I like his shoulder stance when he gets in there. He those combinations, works the body very well. This is a beautiful fight. I can't wait to watch it because these are two high, top-level guys. But like you said, if Kai Stewart can find a way to win, which this what this guy does, he finds ways to win. He's turning into a very special fighter for the BKFC.
Now, we are just 5 minutes away, actually under 5 minutes from kicking off our main card right here at the Denver Coliseum, folks. Of course, we want you to be here with us, so make sure you get the BKFC app. Get signed up. It's $7.99. You don't want to miss, of course, the co-main, the main, and everything in between. Speaking of that main card, as we get ready to kick that off, outside of our co-main and our main, give me a couple of fights, gentlemen. You guys have studied these fights very, very closely, especially you, Sean. I mean, your nose is always in these statistics. You're always studying these. What are some of the fights that you think are really going to surprise people? What are going to be some of the standout fights on that main card?
Chris, Marcus Edwards definitely intrigues me. That's a fighter 16-5 in his pro MMA career, 2-0 in BKFC. We see fighters like Marcus Edwards coming in. Talk about another fighter, Sidney Smith. We see the depth of the women's division. Sidney Smith is someone who came and had a great BKFC victory against Andy Wynn, continues to roll. We see the stacked bare-knuckle fighting championship card. We talk about this all the time. There's no A side, B side in this organization. That's sometimes the case, not always in MMA, more often than not the case in professional boxing. It's never the case in bare-knuckle fighting championship. Whether you're talking about the prelims, the mid-card, our main event, our world title fights, they are set up as 50-50 fights. Sometimes they turn into squashes, sometimes they turn into upsets, at least according to the gambling lines. But the way that David Feldman, Dave Jr., Nate Shook, our outstanding matchmaker, they put these fights together. It's we don't care who wins. Whether you're in the blue corner or the red corner, that doesn't mean an A or a B designation.
Sean, it's amazing to me. Sometimes we're putting on a fight and I'm confident this guy's going to kill the other guy, and he loses. So, like, it might look like a squash, but I'm like, I thought it was a squash the other way. It's not like you said, so you can't have A side, B side all the time. It's amazing to me. Talking about another guy on this card from the tryouts, Figueroa. Look, phenomenal, good boxer, great boxer. He's turned his attention to bare knuckle. He's going to be a special fighter for us, I believe.
Cyrus, to directly answer your question, though, the fight that I am really intrigued about off of the co-main and the main event at 125 pounds, Andrew Strode versus Chancey Wilson. Chancey Wilson never gets an easy fight in BKFC. Andrew Strode 1-0 in BKFC. He finished third in the USA boxing trials in the 2016 Olympic cycle. That is the sleeper fight on this card.
Oh boy, main event in under 2 minutes, folks. Here's what's coming up on the schedule. November 23rd, Ruben Warren Hanekoff just been announced. Fight night, Los Angeles. Then we're going to the ATL, first time in Georgia, Gas South Arena. We're waiting on that main event. Can't wait to hear December 6th. And then we'll finish out the year in Hollywood, Florida, our home away from home. 2 championship bouts. Jared Warren, Mike Richmond, that's going to be for the light heavyweight championship. Then Christine Faria, Christine Vicens for the flyweight championship. Plus, going to be an incredible fight. It's going down here in Denver, folks. It all starts at the top of the hour. Don't go anywhere. BKFC 67 coming at you.
All these UFC stars are looking kind of a little funny in my division.
Jimmy Rivera.
And right, left hand on the count from Rivera.
Kai Stewart was running. You don't want to take that belt.
Jimmy Rivera, Kai Stewart for that featherweight champion.
Fight fans of Hollywood.
Sends Joey Escobar to the camera.
I'm already the fucking champ, man. Period.
Leu-Pierre shot, I'm telling you, there's just a difference when Faria hits you.
And Christine Vicens now 3-0 in BKFC.
Just 2 weeks after a monumental debut in Marbella, Spain, BKFC returns to a place where the energy is contagious. The Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. Prepare for another unforgettable night filled with blood, sweat, and glory as these warriors release their raw power and relentless determination.
With having such a long career, becoming BKFC champion tonight will be a feather in the cap. That will be the best moment of my career.
This is bare knuckle. I have more experience in this than he does, and I do not believe this fight is going to go 5 rounds.
It's the world's most exciting combat sport, and it's live inside the Denver Coliseum. This is BKFC 67, Camozzi versus Depee with gold on the line. And it starts right now.